Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here, and welcome to my review for the series finale of Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. Yep, another Sentai has come to an end. Kind of crazy. Always seems like a combination of we've been watching this forever, and it just started. And it feels crazy that I've been watching Sentai basically weekly since Geki Rangers. It kind of feels like it hasn't been that long, but also has. I don't know why I'm talking about the way time is perceived at the beginning of this review, but let's get started. I thought it was a decent finale. Pretty much exactly what I expected. When I was thinking about what I was going to say for the review, I almost wanted to say rushed, but it wasn't really, because there wasn't necessarily a whole lot of ground to cover. It basically just covered the exact ground that I thought it would, you know? They started the episode off fighting Eris, they get themselves knocked down, they pick themselves up with a corny inspirational speech, they defeat her, and then we get epilogue stuff. And that's exactly, more or less, what I expected out of this, and that's exactly what we got. We did start the episode with a cool little scene that didn't go on too long, but it was the only mecha fight scene, really, of the episode, where they were fighting in different forms of the core mecha, and had a little bit of different formations, and it was kind of cool. And then after they got knocked down, they actually got knocked down a few times. So it didn't go exactly the way I thought it would. They got knocked down and had multiple speeches, so it was different. Then they're all kind of standing in this circle, standing on top of their Kishiryu, which I thought was a really cool scene. I like the way that was shot. And they did that thing where they poured all the power of the Kishiryu into the Ryusoul caliber to seal Eris away. Only it didn't work because the Ryusoul caliber cracked and shattered, because we already established it had been weakening over years of holding Eris in. And then in an unexpected twist, Eris stabbed Ko. Of course we know he's not going to stay killed, but they stabbed him, and then we do like kind of a cool roll call with just the four of them, and they leave a space open for Ko, and Melt's wielding his Ryusoul caliber as well as Ko's. So then the four remaining Ryusoulgers are fighting on the outside, while Ko is kind of in this purgatory realm that Eris has him in after he killed him. Or she killed him. And then, you know, we have inspirational speech stuff. You know, Ko's giving a speech about, you know, never giving up and stuff, and the Rangers are, and, you know, basically exactly what I thought. Not that I didn't like the Eris stuff, I thought there was some cool stuff, but I have to admit, I've mentioned this in the previous two videos, I feel like almost every Sentai finale, or even Toku finale, always boils down to the villain monologuing for one reason or another about, oh, humans are flawed POSs, and then the Rangers are like, but we keep trying! It's like, yeah, I get it. Optimism. Sentai is primarily targeted towards younger audiences that want those optimistic messages, but I feel like there's different ways you can frame it and different messages you can give instead of always the same one. So even though I enjoyed aspects of the Eris storyline, I was a little bit annoyed that it kind of boiled down to that same exact sentiment that we get every year. And Eris is like, well, you guys destroyed the planet. It's like, well, then go just make a new one or something. Like, why do you have to destroy it? Why do you gotta blow everything up? We gotta call the Soul Squad in here to convince you not to blow the Earth up. Actually, that kind of works, the Soul Squad with Ryusoulger and the Good Place. So, they give their speeches, and then ultimately they see like a weakness that was made in Eris from where Ko tried to seal her, and they take her out, and then Ko ends up being freed because of the Ryusoul that Melt put in her that like somehow saved him or something. I don't know, some Toku nonsense, but we knew he was going to be back. But I was honestly surprised the four of them defeated her on his own. Or on their own. I thought that he was going to revive mid-fight, go full Max Ryusoul Red or something, so I thought it was kind of neat that it was just the four fighting on the outside, and there was some neat scenes of Ko kind of going over some of the events of the series in that weird world. One thing of note is I feel like Ko's character is kind of a good representation of the message they were trying to convey about humans being destructive, but they can learn to be better, because he was very reckless and violent when he was younger until he learned to be better because of his friends. And I kind of wish they would have used that, since Ko was one of the ones directly communicating with Eris. But anyway, they defeat him, and then we get epilogue-y stuff about where everyone sort of ends up. Toa's going on a journey. It implies that Bomba's going to be working with Master Black or training in some fashion. Asuna starts a school somehow. She gets the licenses for this, but to teach some of the lessons that the Ryusoul tribe passed on. Melt is helping Ui's dad, whose name I never bothered learning and now I don't care anymore, find, you know, artifacts and stuff so that they might one day be able to revive the Kishiryu that sacrificed themselves. Who else? You know, Kanalo's just going to continue to look for a wife. And then Ko has this, like, end of the the Rise of Skywalker scene where he's like, oh, I'm Ko-Nada, because he sees Ko's spirit, he sees his own spirit. He sees Nada by like this area where he put the Max Resoul changer thing, so I don't know, that was kind of weird. And then they kind of all meet at the end, and Ui's having like a fabulous life in America, and they all kind of reunite, and we have our kind of nice little reuniting scene. And there was a really cool shot of them re-Excaliburing the sabers, kind of like all of Lost Galaxy, and they're looking up at statues of all the Kishiryu, vowing to revive them someday. That was a cool, nice ending shot. Again, very reminiscent of Lost Galaxy for me. I'm sure of Ginga Man as well. I haven't seen that, so I don't know. But I'm sure there's some similarities there. But I thought it was solid. Like, not like blown away or anything, because Ryusoulger was a very mid-level investment for me, because I had a very rough trajectory with it. And like some series like Ninja, where I had similar mixed feelings, even when stuff started to get good, I wasn't really fully invested, but I was decently invested in Ryusoulger. Like, it held my attention in this last arc, but I still wasn't super emotionally invested in the characters, so it was just kind of like, they're like, oh, all these nice moments and nice resolution, and I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I was definitely more emotionally invested in the Loop Hat finale. Like, it's kind of interesting to compare, because this was much more plot heavy, whereas Loop Hat was more character driven, and I was much more emotionally invested and emotionally satisfied with that finale. But I thought this was solid for what it was. There was some really cool, like, cinematic shots, like I mentioned that one where they're all in a circle when they try to seal Eris, and there's some weird, cool shots when Ko's in the purgatory, especially when they save him, and they do like that painting scene where they're all coming down to save him. I thought that was a cool shot. Like, it made for some neat stuff visually, and there was also some really cool score bits alongside it. That one random old dude mentor from the first few episodes showed back up too. I totally forgot he existed. I thought he was going to be more of a big deal. I do appreciate the fact that they didn't... I was worried that when Ko saw the claw, Nada was going to be back, and that somehow the Kishiryu were too. And I'm fairly certain that the Kishiryu will be revived in either a potential Kara Major versus movie or the Returns movie. But I like that for that finale, they left those things open, you know, and they didn't try to resolve everything. Ryusoulger definitely felt like the type of series that would do that, but I like that they didn't demean Nada's sacrifice, and that they left the Kishiryu's sacrifice intact for this, even though I know they'll be revived in some sort of future post-series story. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a solid finale. I would give it an 8. I think it was enjoyable, a satisfying conclusion. You know, I just wasn't 100% as emotionally invested in most, because I was so mid-range with Ryusoulger. But what do you guys think? What did you think of the finale? I said, what do you think like 3 times. What did you think of the finale? Did you find it to be a satisfying conclusion? How invested were you? How invested were you? I will be doing a series review this week, as well as a couple other videos trickling out over the next month or so, sort of related to Ryusoulger and Dino Sentai, and you'll see what I mean when I get to them. But until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.